Now, green energy has been a buzzword for a long time, and with the economic challenges that we face, there is, of course, a danger that the whole green agenda would, in a sense, go up in smoke, but it is thriving. And joining us from Alternative Energy Ireland is Stephen Bray, who knows all about these things with a few helpful hints and also an overview. Well, let's start with that, Stephen, shall we? Where is the green agenda right now?
Well, the green agenda, it's as you say, thriving. Absolutely, the marketplace is thriving. It's a relatively new industry, and it's being backed up by government grants, which is certainly helping to kickstart the whole industry. But the industry is now able to stand on its own two legs. It's moving towards kind of self-regulation as opposed to using the government to regulate for us. But it's certainly something that's going to be around for our lifetime. Yeah. It's going to be around for a long time. It has to be. It's the future. And everybody needs energy. We're running out of oil and gas, so green is here. Green is here to stay.
Okay, I think it's important for us to sort of distinguish between the whole area of energy and home heating and insulation and all of those sort of things and organic food. We're not talking about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Talk about your house. What, in simple terms, can we do to make our homes more energy efficient?
Yeah, there's a lot of little things people can do to make changes. The common ones people hear a lot about are change the light bulbs to CFLs, turn the stat down 1 degree. They're all the simple, very, very, very low cost.
But they work.
Low save. They do make absolute tangible savings, definitely. The next step up would be to say heavily insulate your house. Windows and doors with good seals with low heat loss. They're also very important. And the next step people could do then is they could move on to a renewable energy of some form. Solar panels tend to be the most popular form of renewable energy in Ireland. SEI are the grant body, and they issue grants for several different products under different schemes. And solar panels alone absorb 50% of the Greener Home Scheme's grants.
SEI is
Sustainable Energy Ireland. Yeah.
Okay.
They're a government body, and they're charged with administering grants for all the renewable technologies, as well as regulating the industry, training installers, approving products, and other things like that. But there's also biomass boilers. There's an endless supply of products people could put into the house, but the popular ones are the insulation, the windows and doors, the solar panels, upgrading heating controls, and most of those products I've just listed there are also grant aided, so it helps take the financial strain off.
I mean, I suppose for just to simplify it from people's point of view, you have the heating on, you're not properly insulated, there's kind of cracks in the windows, bang, it just you keep churning it out because the stuff keeps escaping. It stays in, you keep warm, you turn it down. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. Heavily insulate the house, make the building airtight, keep the heat that you generate in the building, and your boiler won't fire as often. You won't be burning as much gas or oil. And that's it's very simple. It's simple, logical thinking.
Of course, for people, they say, oh my God, insulate the house, do this, do that. That's a bunch of dough. But it is, as you say, or it can be, heavily grant-aided. How do they go about doing that?
The best thing to do is to contact SEI. They issue and administer the grants. Their website is probably where they'll direct you to if it's just a first phone call you're putting in with them. Read up a little bit about, see what grants are available, see how much the grants are, what you have to do to apply for the grants. But it's very simple. They want to give these grants out. People just need to do a little bit of research on their website. They'll find out what technologies there are grants for and how much the grants are that are available.
And AEI, your organisation, what do you do specifically?
Well, Alternative Energy Ireland we were set up maybe 5 years ago now, with supplying and installing solar panels only throughout Leinster, really. But since then, we've grown year on year, and we've broadened our product base to include heat recovery, ventilation, and also condensing gas and oil boilers are another product that we do. But the solar panels are our core products.
Do we have enough sun for solar panels?
Yeah.
Well, we do we?
We absolutely do. We absolutely do. To cover up to about 70% of your hot water needs in Ireland. People think we don't have enough sunlight. We do. What we do is we use slightly larger panels than they would, say, if we lived in Greece or Spain. But yes, there is enough sunlight. Absolutely there is.
I was in Portugal recently, and I was looking at a house, and there were an awful lot of panels. Now, the weather there is 32 degrees every day.
All day, every day.
What would they be doing with the excess energy? Because surely if we can make it happen here to 70% of water needs and so on, they would be just, you could have running hot water and heating, but you don't need it.
They don't need the heating over there. That's the thing, you see. You can heat a house in Ireland as well, but in the summertime.
Right.
People tend to use solar panels for providing the hot water for showers and baths. But there's all sorts of ways of installing a different panel to operate different at different times of the year.
And just on the solar panels, physically how large would these things take, and how many would you need for an average house?
We'll say a typical 4-bed house, you'd need 2 panels, maybe 3 panels, depending on the orientation and the pitch of the roof and so forth. But a typical 2 metre square panel, so that's 4 square metres, would cover your average 4-bed house with 4 people, maybe 5 people living in it. Cover them for showers, baths, washing, utilities.
And when you put the panels up, what else do you need to install to actually drive the system? Do you need to overhaul your entire water system, or does it just feed in?
Yeah, no. To complete the system, you have the solar panels on the roof. Most people have an existing copper cylinder in their hot water press. We replace that cylinder with a solar cylinder. It's larger. It's about twice the size of a standard cylinder. And we bring a set of pipes from the panel on the roof down to the cylinder, and that's where the heat is added into the house. That cylinder is heavily insulated. The pipe work is heavily insulated. There's high efficiency pumps, controllers, and that's about the bulk of a typical system in a typical house.
And I know it's going to be typical, typical pricing you can't give, but what are we talking about?
Yeah, well, for a solar system, after the grant, you're looking at between €4,000 and €5,000.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's supplied, installed, including VAT, no other extras.
And do you process the grant?
We process the grant for the people. We do as much as we can. They have to sign the document, but we do everything else for them.
Wow, that's amazing. And it is very, very interesting. I was very, I've seen it, and I've seen them on pitched roofs and so on, but I always thought this is a mega bucks installation. It's from people who are, heavily green and so on. It's a practical
Absolutely.
thing. How long does it last? Is there any... No parts replacement or anything?
No, every 5 years is a simple maintenance check, but there's a life expectancy of 25 years off our system. So most systems are between 20 and 30 years life expectancy. So that's fairly typical. So,
do you find if you get into the area where you're installing solar panels and things for people, they start to become more green and they start to look around for other energy efficiencies?
Absolutely. We're in there, we're installing the panel, and they're asking, can you insulate the house for us? Can you replace the windows? Can you do... there's a lot of things we can't do because we have our product base that we work with. But once people get interested in it, it becomes addictive because they realise they can make tangible savings, they can do their bit for the environment, and it all adds up. Everyone does a little bit.
Yeah. Addicted to green. Addicted to green. Oh, sounds great. What's your website, Stephen? For
www.aei.ie.
AEI,
Alternative Energy Ireland. It stands for.
Okay, listen. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you coming in. That's Stephen Bray there. That's a really, really interesting story. If you want to find out more, if you're interested in going green, if you haven't gone already, and installing things like solar panels, increasing your insulation, that seems like the place to go. AEI.ie. SEI.ie is also Sustainable Energy Ireland. They have more information on those grants and so on. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Ballymun Access. We'll be talking to the folks from there. Join us then.